for the countries around you. And Kenya is richer, has more peace, has more facilities to support countries around. Now, to share this dream, I'll tell you something that was my dream 20 years ago. And it started with a strong vision. Every dream is a vision. It comes out in a few words. To redefine the tools, the methods, and the purpose of education in light of relevant socio-techno-economic changes. Remember what I told you before? The what, the how, the when, and the why. So we need to change education so that it meets these criteria. Now, I called my dream Cyber Kids. That was about 20 years ago, in '91. I was a professor in the United States, and I gave up my job, and I went to my country to do this experiment, and I started schools everywhere, afternoon schools, private. People were paying us a lot of money as well, in order to introduce creativity into the lives of children. Our vision was that we cannot change the government. I know we have a very important government person here, but it's always difficult to convince the government and change the government. So we decided to invade in the country as 3 young people educated in the States and change the system without their permission. So we started schools everywhere, 36 schools, without a lot of money, but we were making money out of the system. And we had thousands of kids coming to play with computers, to run, to do programming, to do multimedia, and in a way we invaded into the system because we were also hiring teachers from the public education system to teach there. So they were then teaching also in their own schools using our methodologies. But what was the most important thing was the vision statement, that everything we were teaching had to satisfy these 3 words, to redefine the tools, the methods, and the purpose. So if you had a project, something that you want to teach, you had to look at it from these 3 angles. You don't just take the curriculum and say, I'm going to teach this unit today. You have to ask the question, what tools am I going to be using while I was teaching? I will be teaching that. So I embed the tools into my teaching. Why am I teaching it? Which methods? And more importantly, how it connects to real life. Why is that important for a kid? Do you think a kid cares about quadratic equations? They don't even know what they are. So if you want to teach them quadratic equations, go outside, give them water, and they can spray one another, and they see the water going like that, and then introduce the quadratic equations. They would remember them forever. Now, when we did this, we expanded heavily. 15% of the population became our students. And we got a lot of awards, we have curricula, everything is available for you. Just send me an email, I'll give you access to everything. And it would be nice if we can share this with Africa. We had a lot of events, I'm sharing some pictures with you, but the important thing was that the child was in the center, the project was in the center. We went also to many other countries. We started these schools in 7 other countries. But the important thing, like I said, is that everything we were teaching was related to the real world. And everything was project-oriented. And everything introduced the computer. Now, this is a message I want to share with you, because everybody talks about child-centered education. It's important that we put the child in the center. I am in favor of moving forward from that discussion. We don't need to talk about the importance of it. That's history. It is important. This is how it works. The challenge is to come up with ideas, local ideas. I heard before some of the speakers saying about African content. This is what you need to develop, African content, your projects that are related to your culture, your animals, your treasures. Protect them by making them known. Have kids do projects on all of these things. Now, a lot of the things I'm talking about, it's funny that this work was done about 20 years ago, but now it's becoming hot. So I was invited to write a chapter in a book, and it's available. It describes what I'm talking about. So if you want to read more about it, send me an email, I'll send you this chapter. It's going to be published in November. Sometimes I laugh with myself because we were doing this 2 decades ago, and now the world is catching up. Now, like I said, the curriculum is public. I can give it to you, and if any of the countries that are here would like to introduce it, we will be more than happy to support you. We can replicate the experiment, but like I said, the experiment was with computers. Computers are also history now. You don't need them. They are also expensive. Now we have mobiles. They are cheaper. Everybody has a mobile. In a couple of years, more people will have mobiles. So the big challenge is how do we marry the mobile with education, with the country. And this needs some research, some international collaborations, some exchange of experiences. It needs a network. And that's why this kind of conferences is very good, because it allows people to network. Nobody can do anything alone anymore. Nobody can even solve any problem alone. We need collective intelligence to solve the problems. And this is the last issue I'm going to talk about, is that the world is becoming so complex that in order to change it and design the future, we need to work collectively. We don't believe in experts and elitism anymore. There is no man who can change the world. The time of big leaders, political or big scientists, is history. The problems are too big now. We need the collective to work together. And this is what I will be talking about in my last part. Can you go to the next one? The next one? Okay. There is a methodology called the science of dialogic design. This is a methodology that started from the ancient Greek. It's about democracy, about people discussing peacefully together and reaching some kind of consensus. It was redeveloped in the Club of Rome, and now we are developing it in the digital era. There are people around the world working on this idea. The idea is simple. We have here, let's say, 200 people. Is there any way we can add their intelligence? No. Is there any way we can add their wisdom? No. It's funny. Even 2 people, if you give them a task to solve, it takes longer than one alone. If you take a lot of people and give them the right to elect, they elect the wrong people. Why? Nobody asked this question. It's simple. Because they elect the average. They don't elect the best. This is called popular voting. What the majority wants is not always right if it's the average. You need a way to make them become more responsible before they choose. And this is what this science is about. And there are some books that you can read, and there are a lot of videos. But the background of it, I'm going to tell you how it is that some years ago, we used to write books. Now everything is digital. And from the time text became digital, we had an explosion of development in the world of text. The same with images. We used to paint them. Now they are digital. These guys, they were videotaping, and in a few minutes they would be broadcasting it. They are sending it over the air to go there. They can even change it. They can put subtitles. The same is true for music. I used to love my vinyl records. Now they come from YouTube. The same revolution is going to happen in the world of thinking. So this is what it is about. When people talk, they talk in relation to something. So if I ask you a question, what is your dream of Africa? And everybody gives an answer. These answers, they all have something in common. They are answers to the same question. The other thing they have in common is that they have a father or a mother. Somebody said that idea. Now, in the usual world, nobody takes care who says what. They can steal your ideas any moment. But with this methodology, we write down who said that, and that person is the owner of that idea. We give a number to the idea. That's idea number 32. That's idea number 34. Now, when we do that, in a way we are digitalizing the ideas. They have a content. An idea has a title, but it also has a paragraph describing it. It can also have a video clip. Ideas can be grouped together into categories. So an idea has a belongingness in some category, has a clarification. We don't lose anything. That's very important. A lot of times we talk, we say very important things, and then we forget them. Nobody takes notes. Ideas grow. I say something, and then you ask me questions. And actually, when you ask me a question, I'm not sure I thought about it. In order to answer, I'm thinking about it. So thinking about it, the idea grows. We can search for similarities among ideas and make groups, like I said before. But the most important is that ideas may influence one another. Let's say I'm asking you things to do to convert Kenya into the leader of e-learning in Africa. And everybody has one idea. How do we decide whose idea is the most important? Popular voting? If we do popular voting, let's say we have 100 ideas on the wall, and I ask you to vote. The idea that will receive the maximum votes, let's say, is idea number 55. Now, if I continue with you, and I ask you questions, taking 2 ideas at a time, whether one idea might support the other, and then you discuss and you answer that question, and we build an influence tree, then the same people will reach a different conclusion. They will find that another idea is the most important. Now, this is erroneous priority. This is actually the scientific proof why democracy, as we know it, doesn't work. Because democracy is based on popular voting. Now, this is a dangerous thing to say, because if we don't have democracy, what should we have? I don't want us to go back to elitism. What I'm saying is that in order to choose the best, the same people need to discuss deeper. They need to search for influences of one idea on another. Now, to help this happen, we develop some software. We're developing a lot of different software. Everything is free. You can download it, send me email, I can send it to you. This one is available now only for Apple mobile phones, but it will also be available for Android soon. It's called Idea Prism. It allows anybody to start a discussion about something. This is a thing beyond Facebook. In Facebook, you can talk about a lot of things, but they get lost. Now, this has a formula that forces the discussion focus. So anybody can start a discussion, and people have to organize their thoughts. There is always this question, what are we talking about? There is the response to the question. There is a video clip that you can upload explaining in 30 seconds what you mean so that people can go and see it. And we develop maps. This is an influence map. So the ideas are being structured. And with this way, we develop a vision. So if you want to develop a vision for the country, for mobile learning, for e-learning, for your role in Africa, you can use this methodology to develop it collectively, not imposed by anybody. It's a vision that comes from ordinary people, because it's ordinary people who live in an ordinary country. We don't want any expert to come and tell us what to do. I remember when I was a child, I was going to my grandmother's flowers, and I was cutting them and leaving only one so that it grows bigger. You know that trick? If you leave only one flower in one branch, that flower becomes bigger. So I was cutting all the flowers, and I was leaving only one flower in one branch. And she was coming after me, hitting me. Why are you cutting the flowers? And then one day I go there, and all the flowers were cut with my system. And I said to her, Grandma, you finally did it. She said, yeah, a guy from England came and told me that if I do this, the flowers get bigger. So like I said, is this not playing? I just wanted to share with you some images. These are people, ordinary people from different workshops sharing their ideas. And this is what I would like to see you doing with mobile devices. Give the power to kids, to everybody, to say their idea, to organize their idea, and spread it to others. Because ideas are contagious. When there is a strong idea, a strong vision, other people with the same vision, they subscribe to it. It moves very fast. When you start something that is good, it will grow. That's all for today. Thank you very much. My email is there if you need to.